Hello, good evening, and welcome to the Talkin Kop. This is the Sunday Night Cop. I'm Gav. I'm joined by Keith, and I'm joined by Emma. And it's a weird one. We're doing a show on a Sunday night before Liverpool play because you don't play Barnsley at Anfield tomorrow night. But there is still plenty to talk about. I'm trying to remember who came to fourth last week. It was Emma, so I'm going to go to Keith this week. This is going to be an on-running thing now. Keith, there is a few bits to talk about. Liverpool. They get the draw against Arsenal on Thursday night, 0-0. What did you think of it? Because I haven't got your view on it yet, and of course we're going to move on to the Martinelli / Bradley stuff, and of course the Bradley news that's come out today. But overall, Keith, it was better from Liverpool, wasn't it?
Yeah, I thought it was very good from Liverpool. Everyone's trying to convince me that we didn't have a shot on goal and all this and all that shy. Yeah, I'm looking at Conor Bradley hitting the crossbar, and it annoys the bollocks out of me how that zero shots on goal doesn't include shots that hit the post.
Yeah.
What exactly did Arsenal do in the match? Do you know what I mean? They created fuck all. The second half they were barely there till the end of it. Until I got to the 90th, they were doing fuck all. So I thought Liverpool were very good. I wasn't expecting much. I went into it very, very blatant downbeat, and the young lad had training, and it was usually I'm like, wrap this up. There's a match on Thursday. I was like, play on, lads. You keep them there, give them
another competition.
Yeah, penalty. But no, all joking aside, I didn't hold out much expectation for the match because Arsenal, their strength, we all know, is set pieces. And as Emma pointed out, their top scorer is OG. So they're a dour team. They're a successful team. And that's not, it is a dig at them in a way. It's like a backhanded compliment. They're a very, very dour team who play off set pieces, and we are no good at that. We can't defend them. We're one of the worst in the league at the moment under that sort of pressure. So I didn't think we'd have done well. And I think Liverpool played very well. Didn't give any set pieces in the second half. I think they only had like one corner and a free kick or something like that. So Liverpool played the game very, very well. Look, Arsenal, all joking aside, I know I'll dig them out from time to time. They're a very good team. They're a physical team. They're a strong team. But there's something about them that until they get over the hump, I'll never, ever trust that they're the best team. Do you know? And that's as mad as that sounds. Arsenal had a chance to go, 8 points clear of City
8 points,
by beating us, after the Villa and City drop points. And it's like, right, this is your chance, lads. This is where you stand on the neck and you pull away. And we've done that ourselves. And you see what the momentum of that sort of thing does for you in the title race. The years we've won it, we've sort of steamrolled ahead. And Arsenal, I don't know, there's something about them that I just can't warm to. Well, I know there's lots about them I can't warm to, but I just don't think they're as good as they get made out to be. They're very, very good side. Don't get me wrong. They're physical. They're excellent at set pieces. But if you can nullify their set pieces, which I think we did very well on Thursday, I think you can sort of quieten them. Now, not every team can do that. We know this. Portsmouth, had a pop at them today and got spanked. But I thought Liverpool played very well. I thought, there's performances there. Players are starting to, like Milos Kerkez comes in for an awful lot of stick. And I think he's starting to look really good. It doesn't help when you've Jamie Carragher calling him out as, a bit of a headless chicken.
Yeah, but Jamie Carragher will tell you next week he's the best left back in the league. So
I think all them hot takes that you get off Sky, that reactionary show, it doesn't help. And I think he could have said that about Kerkez earlier on in the season to come out sort of in the last week or two, when I think Kerkez has actually turned it around. He's still not great, don't get me wrong. He still has a lot of work to do, but I think he's starting to look like the player we bought and the player we expected. So look, there's performances in there from Liverpool that I think, really good. And it's a good point for Liverpool. You go away, you get a point away from home against the team who are the champions in waiting, and you take it every day of the week. Ideally, you'd like to win, but under the circumstances, I don't think we had the artillery to get much more than a draw, and I think we done well to get that draw.
Yeah. Just says, was proud of our performance against Arsenal, all things considered. Blunt up front, obviously. Hopefully we take that attitude into every game moving forward. Everyone was locked in. I think that was an important part for me. People like I think most Liverpool fans going into it going, listen, if we don't defend right here, we're going to be in serious bother. If we give away cheap frees, if we give away corners, we're going to be in problem. And it's funny you mentioned Kerkez, because Kerkez does really well one part of the first half, and he blocks like an attempted cross, and it goes over the corner, and he's fucking disgusted that it's gone for a corner, because it was looked like Liverpool clearly just don't give them away, don't give them a chance on this. And Owen Burke says in the chat there, City or Arsenal nearly scored from one of them corners. Right at the end, there was one, wasn't there? That Jesus kind of, there was an awful lot going on in that thing as well. But overall, I thought Liverpool come out and said to themselves, I think Liverpool were pragmatic in what they done. They came out and they said, look, we're not playing the best. We're a bit open. When we go out attacking, I think we're a bit open. Defensively, we're a bit hesitant. So let's just come out and be what we need to be. And I thought they were first 20 minutes Arsenal have the better of it, but I think Liverpool grow into the game, and I think we are solid enough defensively. There's a couple of shots Alisson have to say, but that's every game. You're going to get that every game regardless.
Yeah.
Arsenal don't open us up. For me, they don't open us up where you go, that is a fucking gilt edge chance, and they just don't do it. And I think the actual key moment is when Liverpool hit the bar, because although Liverpool literally have no strikers, right, they play some really good football in that move. And it's funny because it's an overhit kind of pass towards Frimpong that ends up being the chance. But if that ball is actually on, it's a good ball. Frimpong's in on goal. You know what I mean? Because his pace and him in control of the ball, I think he's in on goal. And as soon as Liverpool hit that bar, it's like a switch goes off at Arsenal where they go, whoa, it's fuck, we might have a problem here. Because they've literally passed it around, and it was a good move. I think it was a good move from Liverpool that overall in the sense of passing. And I think Arsenal's, like I said, the flick kind of switches, and Arsenal kind of go back into themselves. It's like Jesus, they can just get beyond us if we give them a second. And I thought second half Liverpool were excellent. Right, we didn't have the forward penetration because of the lack of forwards. Like someone in the chat says there, we had Ekatike, Isak or Salah, we probably win that game. I fully agree. I think if Liverpool will go into that game and on 70 or 65, 70 Liverpool, even if they can't start them, I think if Liverpool bring in Ekatike into that game with 25 minutes to go, I will back them massively to get a chance and score. And Liverpool have changed their approach. Liverpool was they were trying to play their way into the Arsenal's box, where I think it would have been a little bit more direct. In the sense of looking for an attacker. But overall, I thought we done really well. And I know it's a low bar from Liverpool for the last while, but to go out there and say to Arsenal, you have it, and we'll deal with you, and then we threaten you. But in the second half, we controlled the vast majority of it. And I put Jus's comments up there because he said, hopefully we take that attitude into every game moving forward. Everyone was locked in. I think that's the biggest thing on it. Emma, it's very easy to expect that from now on, but it wasn't like we done anything monumental there on Thursday night in the change things. I think Liverpool just were really focused and looked like they had a game plan and an approach. Now, the approach isn't perfect because of the personnel, but they had a way they wanted to play, and they went out and played that way, whether we liked it or not. And it was successful in the sense that we didn't concede. Right, we didn't look like we were going to score massively, but that's what a lot of us been banging on about: a direction in our play, a plan, and go and see out that plan.
I think we've seen this already this season in big games. We beat Real Madrid, we beat Inter Milan. So, and I'm not taking anything away from Thursday. I thought we were excellent. I fully agree with Keith. And you actually, when you say about the Bradley shot, I think Arsenal kind of crawled up their own arses a little bit when that happened, and it was scar tissue opening up. I think we came out with a game plan. We were just to be defensively solid. Let's see what they have, and to be honest with you, it's not an awful lot. I think playing him starting Gyökeres up front probably played straight into our hands, because you pocket him, no problem. He's actually statistically one of the worst strikers in the league so far this season. Of all strikers that have played over 500 minutes, there's actually a stat just went up there about an hour ago. So he has, of the 33 strikers that have played over 500 minutes, he ranks 33rd for possession loss rate, 31st for passes completed, 30th for duel successes, and 28th for aerial duels won. And And I just think it was bread and butter for Virgil and Konate to pocket him in there. He realistically needed to start with somebody that was going to cause us a little bit of problems. And he didn't. And I think that 20-minute little sighter that we took, where we stood off them a little bit and we thought, right, well, this is what we're going to do. I think we moved the ball a lot quicker. I think we used pace in Frimpong. We used it in Bradley a little bit as well. But the reason for that is that Arsenal aren't going to sit in. Like, they did sit in, but not. They're going to come and try and press you a little bit. And then you can play those little triangles around them, which I thought we moved the ball a hell of a lot quicker than we have done in other games. I think if we can do that, yes. But if we just go back, if we just come up against these two banks of four that we're going to be coming up against, probably come up against it tomorrow at Anfield. I just would like to think that we move it a little bit quicker to try and get it before defenses reset. Arsenal, Inter, Real Madrid, even Atletico, we're always going to come out and play us. So I actually, and I know you can say it's revisionist and whatever, but I literally said, the last thing I said on last week's show was, I can't wait for Thursday, or roll on Thursday. Am I worried going into those games? I'm always worried going into games against the bigger opposition. Was I any more worried than I would normally be? Probably not, because I knew that these would come and try and have a little go at us, and that kind of played into our hands.
But they have a go in a different way. I think if Arsenal are a really good attacking side, you kind of say to yourself, yeah, I'll be with you on that. But I don't know if Arsenal are a really good attacking side. You see, that's my thing. When I look at Arsenal, I think they're a really, really efficient side, right? Like you go back to Liverpool's title winning team of 2019-20, and we talk about the functional midfield, and now we had exceptional forwards, right, that just banged goals and created everywhere. But Arsenal, to me, even with Saka and their wide men, and their midfield, like Rice is a fantastic player, right? And I think, and to be fair, I'm going to say something on Rice. I didn't think he was worth 105 million, but I do now. In today's market, I think he is. I just think the way he runs that for Arsenal, he is because he dominates everything they do in the sense of the purpose that they have and the drive that they have. And then when he slows down, I think the whole team slows down, and that's where you see his value for them. But I think they're really functional. I genuinely do. Well, look, their fullbacks are excellent. Like Timber's excellent, but and Timber made some really good tour man running, runs the other night. But I look at Arsenal, and we spoke about them last season, and you say let the handbrake off, let them play. But if you look at Eze hasn't been in that team for 4 or 5 or 6 games now, I don't think, and he's the one where he would try pick you apart. But Arsenal I think Arsenal is about the names and stuff threaten you, and it makes you fall back. And then if they can get free kicks and corners, someone said it there, I think it might be an O'Shea, and said they're outstanding at them, and they'll win the league off the back of it. That's why I was worried about Arsenal. I wasn't worried about Arsenal playing football against us. I was worried about Arsenal manipulating us into the positions that they wanted, which is usually the little quadrant on the side at the corners of the fucking pitch where they place the ball down, and then they start playing their football from there. Stevie says he got dominated by midfield. He did, but the only thing I would say is on Rice the other night was I don't think the two lads helped him whatsoever. I think when Arsenal dropped, I think everything fucking went, and I think the arse fell out of him a little bit.
Big time.
But
they started getting there. Keith's right, and you said it. You both said it. But with that Bradley chance, they went, "Oh Jesus, hang on a second!" Like they expect, and make no doubt, and you can say, "Oh, professional footballers don't ever." They have built themselves up. Their fans had built it up. The tifos, the fucking mosaics. Like I don't remember when Arsenal were off the pace a little bit, maybe 3, 4, 5 years ago, and we were flying. And they were coming to town, and they were battling for top 4. I can't remember us ever going to that extent. Whatever about Man City coming, or Real Madrid, and you meeting the bus, but they're putting out little mini inspirational videos all week. Like, this is Liverpool, the champions are coming. And that prick from Sky turning around and asking Szoboszlai that you're playing the champions. Like, how fucking disrespectful. And they got exactly what they did. They built it up and built it up and built it up, and they shit the bed. And Arteta shit the bed as well. He played every single one of his forward players in that game and still couldn't score a goal against us. You're probably right. They do rely too heavily on and I know we joke, but like their top goal scorer is Trossard and Gyökeres on 5 goals.
Yeah.
And equal with that is own goals. Like their top scorer has 5 goals. Here's this Saka being signed up to a 300 grand a week contract.
I have no problem with that.
Kirk has absolutely dealt with him. I have to say, a fair play to him the other night. And yes, there was a little bit more fight. I thought McAllister was excellent. There just seemed to be a little bit more intensity in it. But you're right. Jus is right. We need to see that going forward. And the intensity, I just think, and somebody else said, if we had Ekitike, if we had Isak, we had Salah, there's a chance where Frimpong is running through on goal and he kind of nearly doesn't know what to do with it and he ends up dragging it back. If that's Salah in that position, would he be in the position pace-wise? Maybe a yard or two back, but he just aims for the far corner and tries to bend that in there. I think I like it's, and a lot of people have said it. It's like, how are these top of the league? Like,
well, you see, they're top of the league for me.
Made them look ordinary.
They're top of the league for me because they're so efficient in what they do. They're so good at the back, right? Now they were open a little bit against us, but having said that, like we had loads of possession in the second half, and we moved it around really well, and we moved it at pace, and they couldn't kind of get a grip of us at all. And like I said earlier, if we have a striker, I think, and a few people in chat have said, we got into some really good positions wide where you'd look and go, where's the forward? Put it in there and you might have a chance. But they're so good defensively, they're so well drilled, and people will say, well, these 3 defensive midfielders and stuff like that, maybe so, but that's the way they play, and that's why they're top of the league, because I actually think they're a bit ahead of the game, right? I think, do you remember, like, the way the cycles in football, and you think the cycle now is all about tiki-taka, and now it's about this, and now it's about that, and I think they're a bit ahead of the game in the sense of the set-piece stuff. I think they've looked at the set-piece stuff and went, listen, if we're really solid, okay, and we keep the ball well, we will get free kicks and we will get corners, and this is where we can do damage. They've looked at the changes in the rules or wherever it might be, or the little percentage you can get, and that's why they're top of the league. Because listen, there's no one out there going to tell me they're the best footballing side in the country, and they've been outstanding to get to that amount of points in 21 games, whatever it is. No one's going to convince me of that, but they can easily convince me that they have found the extra 1% in the terms of set pieces and have been outstanding at them, and that's why they're top of the league. That's why they are.
But they've also been lucky that Liverpool and City have been sort of falling off. They've taken advantage of our misfortune. And I think their style. Not digging them out for that.
Yeah, but no, I'm not, because I think
that allows them not to be attacking. If you get me, that allows them to rely on the defensive solidity and the set pieces, because they don't have to go out and marmalade teams to win the games. When we were going head to head with City, it was juggernauts going head to head. It was,
I just think teams, and Jono says they're a myth of a team. No, I don't think they're a myth of a team. I think it's very clear what they are. And I think they're really good at what they are. I wouldn't be watching them every week, don't get me wrong.
I think what Jono means there is like, so you're saying, you started off by saying no one can convince me, or no one can say that they're the best team in the world, in the league or whatever like that. And then you said convince me. Arsenal fans, and I know you're going to blame me for being too much time on social media, but even when I'm not on social media, I have an Arsenal fan in a WhatsApp group who's said, like, they're arguably the greatest team in the world at the moment, and you're just like, oh my God, like, no. Look at Thursday. We've just laid the blueprint there on Thursday for teams to go and take points off them, and I think they still have to take Newcastle, Chelsea, City, all still have to go there. So this wrapping up your league title in October is, as much as they built it up for that game on Thursday, and if they fell flat on their face. And by the way, like what you said at the start, Keith, we didn't have a shot on target. I've never seen a game where the team didn't have a shot on target, and they're bragging about this first time we didn't have a shot on target in 600 games or something like that. I've never seen a situation like that where the team that didn't have a shot on target looked the more likely to win the game. And that's damning.
Yeah. No, I you're correct on what you're saying, but then again, you look at it. We looked more likely to win the game despite not having a shot on target, because Liverpool limited them to very few corners and stuff like that. Do you know what I'm saying? And I think and the reason why I say I think they're a little bit ahead of a game is because I think the style in the league is changing. And I think, City and Liverpool like to come out and play football, dominate teams, push into, nearly into their half and go, right, we're going to back ourselves. I think teams are becoming way better at when they win the ball, actually doing something with it. Because we watched City for years, and Liverpool to a point where you go, these aren't getting out of their half. And even if they do, they're not fucking scoring. We get the ball back, and they're terrified. And I think Crystal Palace might be the flag bearer for all that, because Palace done it to City on a couple of occasions. But if you watch Palace are a great example of being compact, being good, and then Mateta is up there and goes, just hit it at me, and they're not. I'm keeping this fucking ball, and we'll hold you. And I think teams have become better at that. And I think Arsenal have found a way to say, right, we have to protect against that. What are we going to do? We're not going to overexpose ourselves, but let's get corners and let's get things like that. Keith, just on Arsenal, before we move on to Bradley and Martinelli, I'm going to be honest with you, Keith. If you switch the situations here, I think Liverpool absolutely dance all over Arsenal at Anfield on a Thursday night. If Arsenal turn up there without Saka, turn up there without Gyökeres, and turn up there without, I don't know, pick another one, whatever you fucking want. But I think Liverpool go into that and go, right, we're fucking 5 clear here. We're going 8 clear. These have no one. And we've seen it being done before. Arsenal turn up, might be on a bit of a decent run. Liverpool just swat them away 2, 3, 4-0 and go fuck off, annoy me. If you're an Arsenal fan, you have to, regardless of how Liverpool played or, what Arsenal tried to do, if I'm an Arsenal fan, I'm kind of going, that's a load of bollocks. If you want to really set a marker out and forget all the tifos in the stadium, if you really want to set an actual solid marker down here, Thursday night was to do it, Keith, and they just didn't. Like, I genuinely look and go, if that's our Anfield, Liverpool 5 clear, and Arsenal turn up with more or less no forwards, Liverpool are battering them and sending them on their way.
And City at that point as well.
Yeah.
It's interesting. I mean, we've played Arsenal before and they've had defensive crises and we haven't been able to break them down. But I think defensively it's different, isn't it? You can you can get players behind the ball and you can sort of park a bus, or, you can impact the game on a defensive end maybe a little bit easier than you can without strikers. But you're right, if they came to us without their attacking lineup, the players missing that we were missing, and if my auntie had wheels, she'd be a bike and all that sort of stuff. But if they did, I would fancy us to bounce off them, which we have done in the past. You're right, like as you say, Klopp's teams and that. If we're going for a title, and whether we win the title or not, there's been seasons when we've come second, and we've done this where you can smell the blood. It's a rival. You have to put that down. You have to get that rival, and you have to do damage to that, because to win that game, whether you bounce off them or you scutter past them 1-0, you're putting a dagger into the heart of any other chasing pack that's there. And you're putting an adrenaline shot into your own players as well. And Arsenal, this is the thing that I don't trust about them. They don't do it. Their fan base, the worst gaslighters you'll ever come across are the Arsenal fan base. We seen it a couple of years ago on one of their channels, where they meekly clapped and celebrated the draw against City when they were going in a title run. And we're looking at that as fans of a team who've been in title runs with Man City, thinking
you didn't take a chance there, lads. You're done.
Yeah, no dice. That's a defeat. That's how these things happen. Arsenal have that mentality of, it's how they play. They're a reflection of their manager. They're a dour team who just do enough to get these wins. I think they need to take the shackles off them a bit and play, because unless they start going out and beating the bigger teams, and I don't mean Chelsea's or Spurs, they're big games, all right, but they're not big teams. You have to go out, and I know they hopped off Man City last season, don't get me wrong, and they've beaten us in that, but they've never, even though they battered City last year, it never felt like a marker was put down, if you know what I mean. It always felt like, all right, they've got the wounded animal and they've kicked them when they were down, but never really pushed on, if you get what I'm saying. Like, whereas Liverpool have gone, when we won the league under Klopp, and we bet City early on in Anfield. Remember that one when
They should
Fabinho
have a
scores the
penalty when
bleeding
Fabinho
cracker. They should have a
scores, yeah.
penalty at one end.
No, but they
that
shouldn't
was
have a penalty. They thought they should have a penalty.
You know, they should. They thought they should, but
But it wasn't a penalty.
That game was an absolute bleeding sledgehammer to the ribs of Man City, and they gave up after that. You know, it was like.
Well, that's because the week before they were winning against Southampton. We were losing against Villa. And we beat Villa.
But that's what I mean. These momentum swings and shifts.
And we go 9 points clear after that game that day.
And that was the end of the league.
It's in November. Yeah,
that was the league was over. Like,
it was over.
The reality is that was because
it was it was only the 1st of November as well. It wasn't even deep into November.
Because what happened was the Villa game was going on. We were down, and people were saying if City come to Anfield next week and win as things stand, right?
The gap is on.
The gap will be nothing. The gap will be nothing. Yeah, and Liverpool get the win with Robertson and Mane, and then the following week we batter them. And we go 9 points clear, and then it's just over. And you know, but
that's
over.
What they had.
But that's what they should have done. I still think they win the league. By the way, I still think Arsenal win the league because I see big frailties in City. I think they're trying to.
Yeah.
And I don't even know if it's defensively. I think it's actually in the top end of the pitch. I think they're trying to cram too many players in.
Well, I suppose we'll see how Semenyo kicks on for them, and maybe.
Yeah, he's a bit different. But I look at it when I look and I go Bernardo Silva, Foden, Cherky, I'm kind of going, I don't think you can play them three in the same team. No. They're all at the same tempo, and not for me. I think Semenyo could be huge if he puts him down the right and he puts Doku on the left. It's just pace and power, and then you can play our intricate players around him. I think City have a chance, but I still think Arsenal win the league.
But because Arsenal are so pragmatic and so defensive and so hard to beat and so well drilled and so good on the set pieces, I think they will win the league as well. But until they do, you know, I think they've got to prove otherwise, because I don't think they have the minerals. I don't think they have, for pressure, I don't think they will handle it. It just depends if City or Villa will put pressure on them, you know, and that's where it'll be interesting to see how they go, because I think they're an emotional team, not in the way Liverpool are. We're the most emotional fan base, you know. We sort of thrive off emotions and things like that, but Liverpool and under Klopp certainly foster that and harness it in the right way, whereas I don't know, there's something about Arsenal that's, you know, they're one bad decision away from a shy hemorrhage every week, and I think that'll catch up on them. And maybe it won't, maybe they will win the league, but I just don't trust them. I think they could have gone 8 clear, was it, if they'd have beat us the other night, and instead they end up on 6 clear.
They're 6 clear, with City still to go to the Emirates.
Yeah,
no, City, it's not. Arsenal go to City.
Oh, is it?
Yeah,
is it?
They drew 1-1 out of the Emirates
even worse.
The season. They got a last minute. Was it Martinelli got a last minute equaliser?
So I mean that's where they are for me, and you know, if they can't, when we won the league, the 2 years we won the league in the last, you know, 35 as they like to tell us, we got away at a canter. You know, we sort of steamrolled them and the other teams and put it that we couldn't be caught. Arsenal aren't doing that. They should be doing it. It's a desperate league, and yet they're still in touching distance to the likes of Man City. And I tell you, there's one team I wouldn't, even if they're shit, I wouldn't want Man City chasing me down out of all the teams in the league.
I think with Man City, I think if that goes to 8, I think City probably look at themselves and go, you know what, 8's probably too much. One more slip and we go off and we'll do the Champions League and we'll come second in the league, but we're not going to push
easy
them.
peasy, yeah.
But I think if City get down, if City can get that from 6 to 4 or 3 and knowing these to play Arsenal, that's when City just all the lights come on in the house and they go, oh, look at this. City don't mind chasing and they don't mind being chased, but there has to be certain circumstances. That's why when we talk about that game from a couple of years ago, when Liverpool go 9 clear, City just go, fuck that. Like, well, forget it, because these are too good. And the thing is, City knew Liverpool were too good, because the season before, Liverpool got 97 fucking points, and City are out of this world, so are Liverpool. But City know they're gone 9 fucking clear of us. There's just, they're not letting.
Do you not think it's different though with Arsenal?
It is different with Arsenal. That's what I'm saying.
But they've come back from 8 points off Arsenal with 9 games to go.
I understand that. That's why it's
I know it's not
the
the same
team you're
season,
chasing.
But
it's the team you're chasing.
Arsenal.
Like, look, Arteta or Guardiola's never going to mention Arsenal in the same breath as Liverpool. He's just not. No. He's come out and openly said that the hardest opponent he's ever had is Jurgen Klopp and Liverpool because they're relentless and they love it. And the thing with Guardiola is, and when he's talking about Liverpool, what he's talking about is he's talking about the team. He's talking about the manager, but he's talking about the fans. Because Liverpool love a joyride around the fucking league here. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Momentum, nothing's like Liverpool when it comes to momentum and going for something and going, fuck yeah, let's have it. You know, the sort of way. And the proof is in the pudding, because if you ask Liverpool what their favourite season is in the last 20 years, 13, 14 always comes up, and we didn't win the fucking thing. But everyone loved the momentum and the buzz of it. And that's where I think City will look and go, yeah, we're in this. Even with 5 games to go, we're 3 behind. We're absolutely in this. But I'd still back Arsenal. I just think because the way the league is being played, I think it suits them more than City. Just in the sense of the way other teams are approaching games, I think it suits them a bit more. But people are saying in the chat there, Semenyo coming in, you know, if they add, they're talking about Guehi there, and I don't know, the Guehi one's weird, we'll talk about it in a bit, but if they get up and running with extra pace in the forward lines, I think they could do whatever they fucking want, to be fair, City, because it's muscle memory for them.
I think it'd have to be 10-12 for Arsenal to go ahead.
I think it'd have to be double figures for City to switch off. I think it'd be more a case of City switching off than anything else. I think City are the.
At what point do City say fuck this?
For me, Arsenal are ahead, but I think City dictate what happens here. You know, City could just say, right, fuck off, right off the sunset, take it, and we'll go out and do something else. Or City can absolutely put the hammer down and go from there. We'll have to.
Well, if you believe it's Guardiola's last season, maybe he'll say, fuck this, I'm going to flog these, we're going to chase everything, who knows?
Jonathan says City aren't catching Arsenal. In his opinion, this City team isn't good enough. Rodri is back though, and that's big. And Havertz coming back is a big boost for Arsenal as their number 9, says Real Talk, which, you know what, you can laugh as much as you want, but some of their best form had got Havertz playing through the middle. Absolutely. And Gyökeres just right now, he just isn't it.
I would much rather be playing an Arsenal team with Gyökeres than
100%.
And they were mad to get this big lump of a forward in.
But you have to play to him.
What they needed.
But you have to play to him. It's the same with Isak with us. We have him in and we aren't playing to him.
Get a different type of forward in, and Havertz is that he drops in, he's 6 foot bleeding 4 or something like that, but he can drop in, he can link up the play, he can knit the play. That's what they should have got. Maybe if they wanted to upgrade Havertz, get a similar player but a better player, or get a forward that's a bit more mobile and interchangeable. They got this fella in. He's a big bleeding pudding, but time to tell.
Yeah, but the thing with Gyökeres is Gyökeres wants to be. He doesn't mind a tussle with a centre back, but Gyökeres wants to be where the only way he wants to be quicker than anyone is in the 40 yard of movement in around the box, and he's a good finisher. That's what he wants to be, big, strong, and he's, you know, that 40 yard where he makes a move and gets a good ball. But Arsenal aren't interested in that. Arsenal want to kick it off you and get a corner and see where they go from there. But Havertz is a much better player in the team that they want, because Havertz links them. And he actually brings Saka into the game an awful lot more. Saka becomes the focal point. But we'll see how it goes. Anyway, just a quick one. The Wirtz penalty incident. Yeah, right? I've had big debates with people over this. Yes or no?
I think it was a penalty. I can understand why it wasn't given. Because it runs out of play, the touch is heavy, but he gets cleaned out.
I just don't get that. You don't have to have control of the ball.
No, I know. But that's why they didn't give it. That's what I'm saying. Like, that's why they had an easy out not to give it, because the ball just runs out. But, like, we can see.
I don't even think it does. I think Raya stops it from going out.
It's maybe too much pace, but then you never know what happens if he's running in on it. Anything can happen. I think it was
Trossard makes no attempt to play the ball. He literally steps across him. It's an obstruction, definitely, and he goes over. And then I know we're gonna move on to the Martinelli Bradley thing. But then you see fucking Gabriel reaching down and trying to drag Wirtz up by the jersey, like. They're fucking shit houses.
I think it's a penalty.
I think it was a definite penalty.
And do you know why I'm going? Do you know why I'm going? Like, let me put it straight. In normal terms, right? In normal terms, as a normal footballing fan, I don't think it's a penalty, right? Because I kind of go, yeah, he kind of clipped you, but mate, you were kicking the ball and it was hitting the hard. You know what I mean? It was good. You were never getting to it. But Emma, you see, I know you're shaking your head at me. That's the way it used to be. He's never getting to that ball. That's fucking ridiculous. And I'm okay with that. In that era of football. In this era of football, it's absolutely a penalty. And I'll tell you why, right? a couple of weeks back, you know, and lads, we are having chats about these in various WhatsApp groups. People saying he's in control of the ball, you know, and so here's a couple of them for you, right? Virgil van Dijk kicks the underneath of Utara's foot, right? And you can argue, is it contact or not, whatever, and it is contact. Is it in now or the box? And there's a big debate. Utara has control of that ball. That's one of the probably defining motions of it, right? It's a penalty. They give it, okay? Now, there's another one then, Wolves against West Ham, where the ball comes into the box. That young lad, Mane, who looks a player, by the way, he gets to the ball first. The West Ham player kicks the underneath of his foot. The ball's gone. You could say he has it under control. The penalty is given, right? But if you go back to the William Hill, Dickinson, Everton, Goodison Park ground, right? When Everton were playing Arsenal, the ball drops in the box, and Barry literally kicks the ball up in the air. But when he kicks it up in the air, Gabriel comes in and boots the underneath of his foot. Penalty not given. Now, people would say, well, he hasn't got control of it. But the Premier League or the PGMOL have come out since and said, that was a mistake. It should have been a penalty. And there was no reference to the fact that he had not got control of that ball, which he doesn't. Because if you watch it, he literally kicks the ball. The ball is up over his head by the time he gets kicked. That's how far he's kicking it, right? It actually ends up in a headed challenge between two players, right, off the back of it. And they come out and say, that actually was a mistake. It should have been a penalty. So around their own reasoning, right, Wirtz gets a touch on the ball. Forget where it goes. Wirtz gets a touch on the ball, and Trossard comes in, and I think kind of catches him with his hip. I don't really care about the hip. It's the foot going across him, where he doesn't make any contact with the ball, makes contact with Wirtz. It's a penalty. And people would say it happens anywhere else on the pitch. And then other people will argue, well, you know, it's in the box. That is no different. There's no differential between a foul inside or outside the box. The differential is the punishment. One is a free kick that you can put a wall in front of and you can fucking whatever. Another one is a penalty kick where you can't. So if I'm just a normal football fan from the era I'm from, I'm going, no. But the rules they've made for themselves, it's 100% a penalty for me.
Yeah, but Gav, from the era we're from, you were allowed to pass it back to the goalkeeper and you could pick it up, for fuck's sake. The game changes. Look at the Kanate.
The game does change. Yeah, but that's the whole point I'm making.
Yeah, but
the game does change and the rules change.
We don't think it's a penalty because
I'm sitting here as an old man now saying, I'm an old man. Back in my day, it wasn't a penalty, but we're not back in my day. In this day and these rules, it's a penalty.
Exactly, but it's too inconsistent. Like I said, Kanate against Leeds, definite penalty because he goes to ground, he jumps down, he makes contact with Willie Nonto, but Willie Nonto's run now fucking play with that. He's run now pitch. Do you know what I mean? Like that. If Kanate doesn't tackle him, it's going out for a goal kick. So it didn't matter where the ball was going on that. There was contact. It was a penalty. Right, it's easier because he goes to ground and they can stop it. That wasn't a shoulder tackle on Florian Wirtz. It was a hip and a fucking knee going across to clean them out. It shouldn't matter.
No intention to get the ball.
No intention to play the ball. It should have been a penalty. People will have their opinions and say soft. Maybe. But I agree with you, Gav. There's been instances of penalties that are given that are maybe less.
I'm simply going on the penalties they've given this season. That's all I'm going on. And to double down on it, the one that they don't give, which is the one where the player is least in control of the ball, they've come out and said it was a penalty. So they've literally
also
gone
against Arsenal.
They've literally gone. The control of the ball doesn't fucking matter. So all he has to do, and you know, the higher threshold in the boxes, Ocean I think says a higher threshold. There is this real higher threshold for fouls in the box, which is a nonsense. Is a nonsense.
Foul is a foul.
A foul is a foul. 100%, 100%. And if that happens, and like people say, if that happens 10 yards outside the box, Wirtz is running through, goes by, a man comes across, hits him, ref blows and gives a free kick. Probably books Trossard, and well, he would have sent him off then. But he probably books him and says, mate, you had no attempt for the ball there. You just come across and cleaned him out, and I'm giving the free, and you have a yellow card, and now you have to go off. But because it's in the box, it's okay, which is it's a nonsense.
It's wild.
Let me see. On to the Martinelli thing. I think it's been well documented, and Martinelli's come out and kind of said himself, I was stupid. You know, he didn't realise this, that, and the other. Keith, my only thing on it here is that Conor Bradley is none of Martinelli's business, and he shouldn't put his fucking hands on him. And whether you think he's right, wrong, or indifferent, you can't put your hands on him. You know, if you go across to a player and put your hand on his fucking up on the higher part of his chest and try to push him off a pitch, you could get sent off. Martinelli grabbing him and pushing him from the shoulders and trying to do that, I don't know why he thinks it's any of his business. I kind of understand his argument a little bit. I thought he was faking it. You could make that argument whether he's telling the truth or not, because we've seen it so much and Slot speaks about it so well. But Keith, Martinelli is none of fucking Conor Bradley's business when he goes down there.
Martinelli, I can understand why he done it. In isolation, you're in the 92nd minute, was it? Something like that. 90 something anyway. You're pretending that you're chasing a game, even though you're not. And a player goes down and, as I've been told 100 times since it happened, rolled off the pitch and then rolled back on.
Well, he didn't. That's a lie.
Didn't happen. Right,
he lands. He actually lands on the pitch, right? Yeah. And he ends up moving closer to off the pitch. So he doesn't land off the pitch and roll himself back in.
No,
it's simply.
This is what we're being told.
People need to go and watch it.
Yeah, people are being told that he lands off the pitch and Martinelli he rolls back on and this and no, he doesn't land off the pitch, and we're of no sympathy. So in the sense, I can say, right, Martinelli is saying, right, oh well, look, they're wasting time. They're just trying to kill this off. I'm not having that get off. That's fine if you're playing FIFA or if you're watching it on the telly. I've no doubt, right, that if a player snaps his knee or whatever happened to Conor Bradley, right, he's riding in agony, and you can tell if it's a bad one or not. Right, you can tell by the reaction whether it's a bad one, and that for me should have been the tell. I don't care if he saw what happened, because he didn't. He wasn't looking when Conor Bradley went down injured, but the reaction of Conor Bradley told that was a bad one. The reaction of the Liverpool players told him it was a bad one. He throws the ball at him, which is a little sleeving thing that he does. He then nudges him with his knee when he's on the ground, and then tries to drag him off the pitch. Liverpool players, and they won't do this, but they should absolutely hammer him when they see him again, because you don't touch a player that's done his. I know he didn't do an ACL. What did it come out as?
Significant knee injury. It doesn't actually say.
There's knee and bone and ligament damage. Yeah.
So it's a significant injury. It's not a fucking. He's not faking it, and you do not touch him, right? So if I'm a Liverpool player there, I'm saying, right, you're getting it. But if we believe the rumours about Harry Kane injuring Joe Gomez on England duty, Liverpool then fucking never put a glove on Harry Kane. I don't know if this team sort of maybe will do that, but he was bang out of order. He didn't injure Conor Bradley. Let's be clear about that. He didn't play any part in Conor Bradley getting hurt. But what he done was out of order, and people can say, oh, well, he thought this and he thought that. He's on the pitch. If I've been at kids' games when a kid gets injured, and you can tell the reaction if it's a bad one. You know if it's a bad one. Players are the same. When they're faking it, they can scream and they can do that. You'll know if it's fake and you'll know if it's real. And to me, that's where his argument falls flat on its face. Plus the fact that there's videos going around of Martinelli himself being injured off the pitch and Arteta telling him to get up and get onto the pitch. You know, so fuck Arsenal and all that. You know, it's terrible. It's an injured player on the ground. He's trying to kick him off a pitch. I think it's a fucking disgraceful act by a player. And I hope that he gets his comeuppance. Didn't today because he got a hat-trick, but you know, hopefully in the not too distant future, some player absolutely goes through him and he gets a little bit of karma.
I'm laughing at one here. Andy O'Chill says, I've seen the AFT TV mob blaming the Martinelli incident on Frimpong. Is this where Frimpong goes down earlier in the game and rolls his ankle a little bit? Are they on fucking drugs or what? Like, what the fuck? Do you know what I mean? So basically, Martinelli is doing all this because Frimpong went down injured earlier in the game. Is this where we're at now? Yeah. And to be fair, when Bradley goes down, you can fucking hear it. You can hear him screaming, and then you can see him in absolute agony on the fucking ground. Now, if that was, but why would he be? Like someone actually said it there. I think Jono said, "Why would we be playing for time? We were the better team." Do you know what I mean?
That's what I mean. Like they were fake, pretending they were chasing.
Like it's absolute Oscar winning stuff. If he is actually fucking faking it, Like Bradley just goes to clear the ball out of play for a throw. The time is actually up, I think, when he plays the ball. The time is up. We end up playing it whatever time goes on. But I just can't get my head around Emma. I just can't get my head around the fact that it's none of fucking Martinelli's business what's going on with Bradley. And the fact that he puts his fucking hands on him and moves him when he's clearly in fucking pain.
Ball, knee, and hands.
Yeah. So by the time
and
he
they're
does
trying
the
to make
hands,
out, he dropped the ball on him. That
threw the
motion
ball.
with the ball is not dropping the ball. That's throwing the ball. And I think Kev said it earlier on. You do not put your hands on any player that's down injured. Like, whether they're injured or not. How about just let the referee decide whether they're fucking acting a maggot or not? Like,
The fact
it's not
Liverpool
on
players
you.
are rushing. The fact Liverpool players are rushing towards him.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's
Liverpool
what I mean.
players
The
know.
reactions tell you.
Yeah, the reactions do tell you. And it's not like Liverpool players are going to run over and go, yeah, all right, and we know. Liverpool players knew straight away there was something going on.
Yeah, no, it's a disgrace, and you can apologise all you want, but the last time somebody did that to an Irish man, it didn't end well. So I would love nothing more than be a couple of goals up on him and just send on one of the academy players, send on Endo with the gum shield to absolutely fucking mill Martinelli in the last 5 minutes of knocking them out of the Champions League. I'd love to see someone go and I know that maybe Neville shouldn't have said it. And somebody else said, I don't know who it was, said that our players are too soft. I don't know in what way you're referencing that, whether it's the injury. I mean, anybody can twist their knees. Studs get caught in the turf. Or in how they, like, Konate comes over and launches them.
Yeah.
And then I think Jesus comes over.
Yeah.
And exactly. But there's only so much you can do these days. You raise a hand, it's a red card, like, and then you're out of the games that are coming up, and it's violent conduct. So it's more of a sensible reaction, but it's one that you kind of keep in your back pocket to leave something on them the next time you play them. I don't know whether that happens these days, but
Well, I don't think it does. That's the thing. I don't think it does.
It should.
Antio says, Gab, the Arsenal away fans were singing Gabby, give him a shove, Gabby, give him a shove tonight after one of the Portsmouth players went to the ground with a hamstring injury. So there you go, that's the level we're at. But don't forget now,
at least they came up with their own song for once, except for North London Forever, like, but that was really a rip off of
I reckon it might be a rip off a B-side from Glenn Hoddle and Chris Waddle.
Come here, North London Forever is about junkies and prostitutes. It's like if Liverpool started using Weekend in Paradise by fucking Jamie Webster.
Yeah, is it? Hold on.
It's all about brazzers and junkies.
But hold on a second, can I ask you something? Yeah, but can I ask something? Was that song made for Arsenal, or was it a song that they
No, Arteta chose it. So it's I can't remember what the chap's name is, but he's the blondie one out of Birds of a Feather. It's her son, Lewis something.
Right, okay.
Dunhurst or something
fantastic.
Like that. But Arteta selected that as having it before games to create an atmosphere. They're not even from North London. They're from
Woolwich.
They play Woolwich. Yeah, they play in North London now. But if you listen to the words of the songs, it's all about alcoholics and junkies and prostitutes.
I can't, lads. I can't.
Where he grew up.
No, I can't. You see, because when I hear North London Forever, I just turn off.
I never listen to it.
I just go, is there anything I can be doing in my life for the next 3 or 4 minutes so I don't have to enjoy this? So there you go. But anyway, look, we hope Conor Bradley is out for the season. We've seen the news. Liverpool haven't put a time frame on it, and the fact that they haven't put a time frame on it tells you he's out for the league. He's out for the rest of the season. Just before we go, Liverpool, the transfer market. I'll come to you first. The fact that Bradley's gone down injured here and he is out for the season. Isak is out for the season, more than likely. Does this put a rocket up Liverpool to do something defensively? Because I think if Liverpool were him and hawing over what to do with a centre half, no matter who that be, no matter who that may be, I think that injury today and the confirmation of it has to accelerate a centre half here, because if you want to have Frimpong there, but you're going to need Gomez as a cover at right back, I think you have to bring in a centre back. It's just that obvious. You have to bring your plan, which is definitely there for the summer forward. You have to.
Yeah, no, I fully agree. Because you do think, unless he goes down the Szoboszlai right back, which no one wants to see, or Endo if he's back fit, but he's not back for weeks. But you are now in a position where Salah is into the semi-finals of the African Cup of Nations, so he's gone for the duration of that now, because I think he'll at least have
Be
to
a
play in the
third
third,
place playoff.
fourth place playoff, if they have one. So. And you would expect that you want to play Frimpong in that right hand. So I think he's looked really good playing in that position. And I know he's played Szoboszlai there, but Gomez now becomes either your right back or your backup right back if he's putting Szoboszlai out right and Frimpong in the right back position. So
Yeah.
you can't have a Gomez backing up two positions. So you would like to think that it puts a rocket under them. But we've seen in the past that it hasn't always. I'm not one to say go out and just pay whatever for Guehi. I think Guehi has made peace with staying at Palace, to be honest with you, until the summer.
Well, Jono says there in the chat that the Athletic reporter who covers City has said that Guehi prefers a move to Liverpool.
Yeah,
That's what the City end is saying.
You know what? I won't repeat. I know I said it in the WhatsApp. Why I think.
Well, I can't understand. I can't understand why Palace are saying, "Yeah, we'll sell him now," when they haven't made any move to change their squad, to bring in a centre back, and that seemed to be the big issue at the end of August. Nothing's changed now.
Come here. We all know Steve Parish. Like, he's not gonna want him to leave for free. He's gonna want to get something for him.
Yeah,
and I think the reason that was blocked in August or start of September was they didn't get somebody in, and also Glasner basically said, "Well, I might not be here if you sell him." But they do not they do not want to get nothing for him. My thoughts on the whole thing is Guehi has an agreement with Liverpool. He's done the medical, he's done the interviews, he's wore the t-shirt, he rang his family to tell them, he's sitting in a hotel waiting for the announcement, all this kind of stuff, and then they pull the rug out from underneath him. I'm gonna say he's Christian and all this kind of stuff, and it just
I'm not going there.
And I know
I'm not going there.
No. I'm not going there. I'm saying
that's okay.
Is that his word is his word is his bond? Basically, he strikes me as that type of person.
Good Christian.
You saw that
man.
he didn't kick up a fuss in the summer when he wasn't getting his move and all that kind of stuff. So to me, he's the type of personality that has made a promise and he's going to keep to his promise. He has no issue staying with Palace. Like, he's probably more likely to get more game time at either Liverpool or City at Palace than he will do at either Liverpool and City. He'll start every game. He may not do at the others. World Cup coming up. If he stays till the summer, he then gets his signing on fee as well. So I think if there's an agreement there, and you've just said that, I didn't know that the fellow in Athletic said that he prefers a move. I'm sure he wouldn't mind going now, but he also knows skin off his nose if he stays until the summer. That's the way I see it. But I think Palace are trying to play the Liverpool and City off each other. Now you've got Arsenal coming into the mix as well, that if he goes there, and so should he fucking 472 centre-backs, why would he want to sign there? So I do think there's some sort of an agreement in place. Do we fast track that to January and say, look, Bradley's out now, we better stump up the cash? Or do they, because let's face it, they'll need to have been bringing in more than Guehi in the summer, centre-half cover-wise. I know they've brought in 2 young fellas, I think, this window so far, but they're literally into the 21s. Do they leave Guehi off till the summer knowing that they're going to get him, and then bring one forward from the summer that they thought they were going to do in the summer instead?
I get that. Like, and you know, if you're going to pay 40 million for Guehi in the summer, just give Palace 35 now, for the sake of form.
Sure, they're not. He's free in this. Oh, you mean
last? No, I mean now. No, I mean now. You know,
you meant if you were going.
Yeah, we're going to give it to him 40 in the summer, whatever it might have been, right? And the thing is, like, if like you said, if Guehi says, well, I'm just going to stay here and sign with Liverpool in the summer, and I'll get me fucking 5 million signing on or 10 million signing on, well, then Liverpool will go to Guehi can go and say, listen, you need to accept the 25 million off them, because they're going to spend 35, but I'm getting 10 of it, just to let you know. So it's down like that. But
I just think that there's an opportunity there, rather than spending 80 or let's say, rather than spending 60, 30 now, let's say, on Guehi and 30 in the summer on a centre-back, if you know that you're going to get Guehi, if you're getting almost
But
guaranteed,
this is my whole point.
save the 30 and bring that 30 from the summer forward to January.
Yeah,
and then
but
you're only
I'm not against them doing that. My only thing on this is that the big thing at Crystal Palace on the 31st of August or the 4th of September, whenever the window closed, was we didn't get a replacement for Mark Guehi. Crystal Palace still haven't got a replacement unless fucking your man Brennan Johnson plays centre half now, right? They still haven't got a replacement for Guehi. So why has all this changed now? The only thing I can think of is that Glasner's gone, I'm going at the end of the season. Like, do you know what? I couldn't give a bollocks. Sell him if you want.
And then there was rumours the other day saying that he would sign a new deal.
No, he's announced.
Even if Guehi went to Man
Glasner
City,
would. Okay, sorry.
Glasner would, yeah.
Yeah.
Even if they sold Guehi to Man City, but if they sold him to Liverpool, he wouldn't. Why has he got against Liverpool?
I don't know. God only fucking knows. Keith, people are going to say they won't do anything. I think they have to do something here.
It's too early in the window to say that to start saying that they're not going to sell anybody or not going to buy anybody.
Oh no!
I think they should have had something done as soon as the window opened. I'm starting to think it's they haven't done that yet. They probably won't. The Bradley thing changes it, but something Emma you said there was, do they bring someone else forward rather than Guehi if they think they can get him for free if they have an agreement? And the thing about the Guehi thing is, it was so far down the line. We heard Florian Wirtz's father saying how sold once he spoke to Slot, and look, Slot's coming in for criticism whether we think Slot will be there next season or not's another conversation. But they said they were sold so much by what Slot had to say about the vision for Liverpool, and that would not only be Slot, that'd be Richard Hughes, and that'd be Liverpool and FSG. Their plans going forward. Alexander Isak, similar, Ekitike, we beat off competition from so many teams. We sold all these lads, and I think we've done the same with Guehi. So it wasn't us who pulled the plug. It wasn't him who changed his mind. It was Oliver Glasner. We all know that put the kibosh on that.
Daniel says there in the chat, he says we should have just paid 40 for him in June or July when it was one of our most needed signings instead of dicking around. Daniel, I think if you remember rightly, it was imminent he was going to go to Liverpool before Diogo Jota passed away. It was like everyone fucking knew what was going to happen. Yeah. And then as Liverpool went quiet then around early August, it kind of dragged on, and then it became, and everyone still thought it was going to happen. It was just dragging out, and it was all about Palace finding a replacement. The only thing I would say, Daniel, is I think Palace fucked us around because Guehi's in Liverpool's offices doing the media work, and Palace have the video of him leaving ready. Yeah. The farewell. Everyone thinks it's going.
Everything.
The only thing I'd throw at Liverpool is Liverpool probably should have got to 3 or 4 days before the end of the window and said to Palace, this happens in 24 hours or we're gone. Good luck.
Yeah.
That's what I think we should have done. That's the one thing I would throw about.
The very end of the window was.
And even if they did that, we probably would have ended up in the same position.
Yeah, but Daniel, you're winding me up now. He says FSG being cheap as usual, back to their old tricks. Mate, you spent it out.
That's ridiculous. They had the deal done.
I'm not even going there. Yeah, you're winding me up now. So
they had the deal. Nobody cheated about.
No, there was nothing about money. It didn't break down because of money. It broke down because Oliver Glasner said, I don't have a replacement. If you sell him, I'm walking away.
On the eve of the season as well. Bear in mind, the end of the transfer window, the start of the season. You don't want your manager bleeding jacking it in.
Yeah,
I think what they could do, and I've sort of poo-pooed this one, and I know it's been poo-pooed by others, but when they were linked with Joe Ordonez, I was sort of saying, why would you bring in two centre backs that are, 6'1"? Ordonez can play right back as well. Maybe it's something like that him or that profile of player that they look at that can do both. A Joe Gomez type of player, that can play centre back and can play full back, but one that the manager trusts because he doesn't really trust Joe Gomez. So maybe that's what they might do if they think they can get where he signed up to a Bosman in the summer. They might think, right, he's given us his word, as Emmett said, he's a God-fearing man, so he's not going to back out on that. And maybe they look to do something else, but I think they have to do something. We do forget all in this, and Alan's reminded me, said the other clown that went to West Ham instead of Palace, how's that going by him? To be fair, I think the word that came out with that was it Igor, what's his name? Oh,
centre
yeah,
back at
yeah. I haven't heard
Brighton,
of that. He's fallen
right?
off a cliff,
But
is he?
I think what happened there was
He got Julio or something.
I think he turns up at Palace to do his medical, and Glasner tells him, fair play to you, but you won't be getting many minutes here, buddy. And he went, well, I'm fucking going to wait in Brighton because I'm not getting minutes. I'm not fucking going here. And he went to West Ham because they said he would get minutes. Now, I haven't a clue how many minutes he's played. But yeah, he kind of gets forgotten on all this. Brian says,
Can I just say as well as the City noise starts up because of Guardiola and Diaz getting injured.
Correct, yeah.
And the other thing that I have in my mind is if you're a player, right, and you were that close to joining Liverpool, you're hoping that there's talks going on in January or whatever, and then all of a sudden Man City come in. The only reason they're coming in for you is because of injuries, whereas Liverpool have always been there. And then you've got, like I said earlier on, Arsenal with their 7 fucking centre halves. Like the place where he's going to play the most football. And what happens when Guardiola and Diaz comes back? Does he still play, or does he go back sitting on the bench? He could be. You have to look at, like, Van Dijk is probably gone next summer. Konate could be gone in the summer. Sorry, Van Dijk will be the summer after. He's looking at a spot there where there's a spot there for him to make his. That's not necessarily the case at either Man City or Arsenal. And that's why I think we'd probably be edging it too.
Yeah. Oz Coppo says, wasn't there a rumour of 40 million earlier in the window would have got it done harsh on FSG, but I can see why it's being asked. And Daniel says, yeah, but it was left till the last minute and only paid 35 when we could have had him earlier. And if we just gave them if we just gave them the 40 million they wanted on time, it wasn't about money. Look, how many times have we to say this? It wasn't about money, lads. It wasn't about that. And if Liverpool were going in June and July and saying to Palace, we'll give you the money, and everyone was thinking the delay was about money, it never ended up being about money. Liverpool waited and gave Palace their time to go and get a replacement. Liverpool, the naivety from Liverpool here wasn't give them an extra 10 million and they take it. It wasn't that. He was refusing to sell until he got a replacement. The only problem we have with Liverpool, and this is, they should have turned around on the 26th or 27th of August and said, by the end of today, this deal is done or we're gone. So it's not about cheap, and it's not about get it done early in the summer. There was some circumstances, but it wasn't money. Liverpool were actually too respectful to Palace.
Yeah.
But to be fair, they were probably doing that because they were being respectful to Mark Guehi, because they felt he was going to be their player.
Respectful to Palace as well.
Yeah. And Oliver Glasner just decides, I'm not having this. Threw his toys out of the pram, and he got his way. Because Parish was off doing a spinning class and didn't know what was going on. As someone said there, Parish was probably in the gym, loading up the Palace YouTube channel, going, this video's going to be great. Where is it? Where is the video? Do you know when people get onto us and go, why is late? Why haven't we just gone live yet? That's what happened. Steve Parish rang the media team and went, where's the video, lads? And they go, it's not happening, Steve. Oliver's having an absolute meltdown in the canteen.
Imagine you had it behind the scenes, one of them documentary things getting filmed, and the Liverpool negotiating team are going in and they're talking and saying, look, we've got him for 35 million. Do you know what we should do? Add another 10 onto that. And let's see if that makes any difference whatsoever. Of course it doesn't. We had the deal done. They could have got it done earlier. As you said, they were being respectful to all parties, which I think is something Liverpool, by all accounts, will be doing. They're not going to go in and bully their way. Even with the Isaac thing, Liverpool kept fucking stum, even though Newcastle's, I can't remember the name of the fellas that were up there. What was your man's name? That was, he guaranteed that he wouldn't be selling them and all that. The Geordie lad. Oh, he's not Geordie. I know. Davies in the chat. He'll know your man. It's not happening. It's not happening. It's not happening. It's happening. But Liverpool didn't really say anything on that. It was they tried to be respectful all along and all their transfer business. And
Sorry, Dylan says Steve Parish in a full Lycra suit with his personal trainer on a stationary bike beside him, both baffled as to what's going on with 72 missed calls. Craig Hope was the
it wasn't Craig Hope, it was the other one. Craig Hope was your man. He wasn't.
Luke Edwards, was
Luke Edwards, that's him. Luke
was
Edwards.
it Luke Edwards or was it Steele?
Yeah, you says it there as well.
You says it there. Stevie says Dewi. Every time I see the word Dewi, I just think of Ian Dewi scoring an own goal for West Ham against Stockport in the FA Cup. That's me boyd memory of Ian Dewi, to be fair. Let me see. Look, it's we'll see what happens. But aside from that, like, people are going on about, I genuinely think Davey T says, "Let it go, please, lol." It was fantastic. And you know what, Davey, you come into that chat. Might have been around that time. You come into our chat and you've stayed, and you're great. You're great value, to be fair. But we were all. I think everyone was laughing at it. Like even Davey T was going, "This fella is fucking mad." Like, but I don't know. Like he's up there with remember the guy from Brighton who kept saying that McAllister wasn't going to Liverpool, and McAllister was like in Liverpool, like announced, and your man was going, "No, it's not happening." But it was brilliant. But that's what it's about. We should be having a laugh. It's still only football at the end of the day. But aside from the centre back thing, which I definitely think they need to do, we're literally down to, unless you're going to go back to the Szoboszlai, Curtis Jones right back thing, which you shouldn't do. It just doesn't work. Right, and we're in a tenuous situation here. If you are safe in third place, you're not going to win the league, and you're not going to no chance of falling down below fifth. You might do that and go, let's get through to the end of the season, but we're not. We have to fucking do something. But aside from that, Emma, I'll come back to you. I think we need an attacker.
Yeah.
And again, I think it's one that they might have looked to do in the summer, but you might need to do something now. Even if you're looking to sign a fourth team attacker in the summer and a prospect. If you can go and get the prospect now, I'd do it. I think because the manager won't play two of us forwards. He won't play Ngamo and he won't play Chiesa unless he really, really has to. And that's with Salah, Ekitike and fucking Isak injured.
I still think Chiesa goes this window. So with the World Cup coming up, he'll want to play minutes, and it might even just be alone. But I definitely think that we need somebody in there. Well, you're not going to see Isak this side of the end of April, I would imagine, possibly into May, even if he comes back. I don't think. Even if he comes back, it's possible. Yeah. And then you've got Ekitike, who's back injury, hammer injury.
Davey T says Luke Edwards was also the lookout on the Titanic.
There's talk around this Jan Diamande.
He's a winger.
Dad's a big, but I think it's not.
I'm just saying he is, because
striker.
And people talking about Diamande as centre back. Funnily enough, that was meant to go to Crystal Palace from Sporting Lisbon, wasn't it?
That's Asuma Diamande. He's at Sporting, but this Jan Diamande has now been caught on film, apparently saying that he's a massive Liverpool fan, would love to play at Liverpool. His dad's a Liverpool fan, and then all of a sudden everybody's on.
That's the same as me, you know. That'd be like my dad coming out and saying, "Gav loves Liverpool. He loves Liverpool. Big Liverpool fan. Love to play with him." Do you remember? I don't think they do it now, but remember years ago when that happened to people. The Star newspaper or whatever would like go into the house, sit them all the whole family on a 3-seater sofa, and get them to look at the camera real grim, like like it could be anything. That's what it sounds like to me. This fella just sitting there so going, "No, he only just loves Liverpool. He just loves to play for them." And Liverpool, and everyone's going, "This fella might sign." But it's not how it works.
But I definitely think we need something. We saw how short we were on Thursday. And we're all saying, even if he just had one. So we're not guaranteed. And I know people say, like, if Salah goes on and wins AFCON, he'll come bouncing back. I know he's never won AFCON, but he's also never come bouncing back after AFCON.
It comes bollocks. He comes back bollocks after the AFCON.
Exactly, yeah. Now, I don't think that changes even if he wins it. So the whole Ngamoa thing is a bit strange for me. I don't know why he's not playing them. There's rumours during the week as to why. Slot's not playing them. It's kind of like a falling out, and he's playing them because he was told he has to play him.
Who's falling? Who's falling out now?
Hughes and Slot apparently have. There's a fallout over the Ngamoa.
Right.
So I definitely think that we need to bring in something up top. I don't think it's going to be. I see somebody there saying Barcola. They're not going to drop 80 million or whatever it's going to cost.
But Kev says that Leipzig want 80 million for this guy off the back of 30 games in the Bundesliga. Yeah. You have more chance of me playing up top.
A Jokeres type Kev would be, wouldn't he?
Yeah.
Big.
But even if it,
top. You can imagine Kev's dad, couldn't you? Kev's dad going, "Me uncle loves playing at Liverpool."
Anyone that doesn't know, so he's the target man.
He is the target
even
man.
Even if
Kev will be the ultimate focal point.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Even if it was a loan that you got in, just to do you
just
under the summer.
an injection of something, isn't it? It's just something that the manager will play.
No,
just want someone that'll just want someone that you can go, yeah, do you know what? I'll start you because I don't have anybody else.
Yeah,
do you know what I mean?
exactly,
Now, don't get me wrong. I think the lineup he goes with on Thursday, I think suits him because he doesn't have an out-and-out striker, so it suits him to be solid. And maybe that helped Liverpool a bit more where they didn't have to put a striker on the pitch and be a little bit more open in midfield or whatever, or down the sides. Maybe that worked. But that can't go on forever. You have to find a way to build Ekitike's fit, which you're hoping is tomorrow or the weekend, that when Ekitike comes in, you've more of a tackle threat. Liverpool's biggest problem here is the direction of play, the direction of travel for them. And the direction of travel is terrible. So if they want to play like they did in the second half against Arsenal, fantastic. Great direction of travel, great passing, movement, and you need something extra to go with it. But if that means that everyone, behind Ekitike has to work that extra 2% to keep them in that shape that they liked against Arsenal without a striker, so be it. O'Shane says Callum Wilson should be the guy to go for. We're not doing this. We're just not doing this.
Oh, well, look up a bit further. Chocolate says bring Origi home.
No, God, no, Jesus Christ. And do you know what? We're all laughing, right?
It could be something like that. It could be like a 28-30-year-old. Could be a loan. Like, do you know what I mean? It doesn't
Danny
necessarily...
Welbeck. Danny Welbeck. Sure, Gary Neville thinks he's probably the best striker that's ever played for United in the last 15 years.
United
watch
should
the
never let him go, yeah.
Chris Hockley says, Callum Wilson, get the fuck. By the way, Chris Hockley, I think it was, told us one of the greatest stories. Was it him the other day? Was it?
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
Yeah, was it Chris the other day on Patreon?
Yeah.
We done a random show, and even Tony, says Chris Hockley, but he did tell us a fucking brilliant story that had us absolutely fucking roaring laughing.
Started off as a question, and we were thought, where's this going?
Started off as a question, and it ended up with one of the most surreal fucking things, and it was absolutely brilliant. Johnny wants Jamie Vardy. Even Tony's tied to his taxes is actually correct. Raul Jimenez, says Brian. Someone experienced and relatively cheap. But Fulham aren't just going to give you Raul Jimenez, to be fairness. Yeah. Chelsea United paying that money for Mudryk and Anthony wrecked the market, says Owen. Yeah, they remember them. Unbelievable. Troy Parrott on loan, says Keno. What about Valdemade at Newcastle?
Well, come here. Evan Ferguson's going back to Brighton. I think Roma aren't continuing on with the loan.
Napoli.
Yeah, but there was talk of that, but then that's changing now, and it's all good.
Is it? Yeah, okay.
Bejan says John Duran. I think he's tied to his taxes as well. Isn't he in Turkey? But anyway, I'm not. We could read these names only, but I think we need to do something up front, simply based on the evidence of we know strikers, and he just won't play any of these lads. So there you go. Jared Bones says Kevin Sullivan. He's not allowed to leave West Ham because Danny Dyer will batter him. So there's no point in going there.
And he's about
Ramos from PSG is a good shout. That would be probably.
Yeah, but you're signing Ramos from PSG. If Ramos from PSG is your future.
No, but see, that's what I'm talking about. If you just want to get, like you've got.
No, just go out and sign. Just go out and sign the fella off fucking that they were all waffling on about during the summer. I don't think he moved, did he? The fella off.
Well, Leon.
Yeah, did he move?
No.
No, just go out and sign him then.
What was his name?
Can't remember, but he's a good player.
What a player.
What a player. And all we need to do is get his dad to tell us that he likes Liverpool. That's all you need. Fofana was his name. Says Owen Book. I'm terrible with names now. I'm really gone bad.
Well, especially when there's loads of them Fofanas.
Yeah.
There's one at Chelsea.
But just sign him.
There's a centre midfielder, I think, at Lyon as well, maybe called Fofana.
Yeah, but what age is he, Fofana? As a matter of
he's only 20 or something.
20
well, he might qualify for a game because Rio Engamo at 17 doesn't. But this is the thing. Like, look, 20. I'm like, what was it? Brandon Cheese is there. Says, start a youth player. Don't be getting in loan players. A club the size of Liverpool was supposedly a famous youth academy for producing players, great players. Getting in loan players is embarrassing.
See, the people that are close to it, Dan's is nowhere
right, forget Dan's.
Fit, right?
You literally have Engamoa there. Play him.
Yeah, no, I agree. But for whatever reason, he's not using them.
But at some stage, he could have simply went and said, right, I'm going to play Engamoa. This is what I'm going to do. I'm going to fuck Gakpo up front. Okay? If I want to take Wirtz off, I'm going to take fuck Gakpo up front and I'm going to put Engamo on the left. It changes none about our system, but I'm putting the young fella on. It's all about trust and, I just, it's actually annoying me about Engamoa. The
But then
Chiesa
don't
stuff
throw a
is,
load of
the
money
Chiesa-
at Wolves for Mane.
do you think so? I don't know, but he's 18. He's 18 and 19. So,
Yeah.
but it's all about trust. The Chiesa thing is a long running thing. It's a long running thing. David Campbell says, "You're right, Gav, slot out." David Campbell, fuck off, annoying me because I seen your comment earlier about FSG as well. You prick you. But fair play to you. But yeah, I just don't understand if he's in the squad, and as well as I said last week, that is a deliberate move they made last year or last summer with regards to Engamo being a squad member. So why isn't he playing? I'd much rather if you said to me, right, Diaz wants to go, fine, but tell you what we're going to do. Engamo is going on loan, we're selling Chiesa, and we're buying in an out-and-out winger or two prospects to bring in to replace them. Because two prospects are as much value to you as Engamo and fucking Chiesa if you don't trust them. Sign two 22-year-olds.
But that, I think he said something in his press conference, didn't he? He said when he was talking about dance, he was that's why there's a fear with Engamo of overplaying and overtraining. He already doesn't train 2 days of the week, so he's only training.
That's because he's probably in skill.
Five days.
I'm not even messing with you.
No, well, it's 2 days a week. He's not training.
Yeah, because he's probably doing
But
skill.
They have tutors, do they not, at the AXA?
But so he probably in with his tutors. Do you know what I mean? But like Ashley says, his minutes are being carefully managed. I completely understand, like, not overplaying a player. I'm not
being carefully managed, and then
he's played
not
played about 15 minutes Premier League fucking minutes this season. How careful is this? Do you know what I mean? But and if you don't want to start him, just at least say, right, we're giving him 20 minutes. If Rio Engamoa isn't ready for 20 minutes of Premier League football a week, what the fuck is going on? Right? Seriously, if he was playing 90 minutes every week, 3 times a week, I'd go, yeah, that's a problem. But I'm sorry, 20 minutes every couple of weeks or every week is not an issue. Anyway, are we done?
Played 48 minutes.
48 minutes. So he's played one half of fucking Premier League football, right?
Yeah.
All season. We're 21 games in, right? Which is about 1,900 minutes of football. Yeah.
Yeah. He's played 16 in the Champions League, and he's played 161 in the League Cup.
Yeah. Anyway, Antio says Gav wants Gordon. He's too shy to admit. I fucking hate Anthony Gordon, and I think he's so fucking overrated. It's unbelievable, unbelievable. You know what I mean?
Sure, I'd say if you got Gordon, you'd have to get Eddie Howe as well, wouldn't you?
No,
so fuck that.
No, we're not doing that. Eddie Howe's going to United. Roy Keane said so. So there you go. Right, I think we're done with all the football. So before we go, I did hold on to a question because it's Dylan likes just random stuff. He says, lads, had a big debate today. What's the best form of potato? I've gone mad into potato cubes. Neve, his better half, is a roasty fan. My brother loves the microwave baby boilers. Family haven't spoken in days over it.
Yeah, well, I'm assuming they haven't spoke to the brother.
Listen, they're just having a love. They're just looking for a reason. It's a bit like when you fall out with people in November because you don't want to buy them shit for Christmas. Microwaving potatoes, you should be fucking arrested for, in my opinion. Best form of potato.
I love a roasty.
I love a roasty as well.
I'm not a big fan of them.
They have to be crispy and
then fluffy on the inside
and smothered in gravy. Yeah,
I would take, and I don't know. I might have my passport taken on me for saying this. I would take a Yorkshire pudding over a roast potato.
No, geez.
A good Yorkshire pudding, which is nice pastry on it and is crispy. I would take over a thing. Yeah.
I've only softened on the whole Yorkshire puddings in the last couple of years.
Have you?
I would have avoided them.
The exact reason why you
think. Yeah, because of the exact reason why you thought you'd get your fucking passport.
Because you think, what you think? If I keep eating these roast Yorkshire puddings, the Brits are going to come back and take the 26 counties.
Well, why did you think you'd get your passport taken off you?
Well, because it says Yorkshire there. You know what I mean? But no, I've softened these fancies some way to go.
Not over roasties. No.
Colonel says roasties on Brennan's bread with red sauce.
Outrageous carry on, Colonel. But I do like a left field one.
Yeah. Well,
I know who that is as well.
But does hash brown count?
Yeah, it's potato. Yeah,
I'm a big fan.
I love garlic potatoes. You know when they're really
Yes.
thin. You know, really thinly sliced garlic
Scallops,
potatoes.
like potato scallops.
But even thinner, like with your potato peeler, and you just
Yeah.
this is how I do them. You just get the potato and you just peel
What
it,
is that
keep
called though? Is
peeling
it? It's
it.
not gratin, is it? Or
Potato
is it
gratin, yeah.
Yeah, like a
tofu one
gratin,
or
yeah.
tofu
How
one?
did you do the day?
But so thin, like with the
But
don't chop the potatoes. You
if
just
you
peel
had
it.
a gun held to your
Dylan
head
says-
and you had to pick one,
Dylan says ice
Most.
bursting through Emmett's door over the Yorkshire pudding. Potato scallops, I'm a fan of. I tell you
Yeah.
what I'm big on at the minute. Baby potatoes diced in a pan, loads of salt, loads of pepper. That's it. Unbelievable.
That's it. In the
Yeah.
air fryer.
so
Get
that
them
would
in
fall.
there.
No,
more
on the
under
pan, on the pan.
Dylan's cubes, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, but cubes I think are I leave the skin on the
just
baby
cook.
potatoes.
They've cut fucking wedges up into squares and started calling them potato cubes. That's all they've done.
Because people are fucking idiots to go, oh, look at them, they're deadly.
What's your
something new.
stance on a baked potato?
Never
hate
had one.
Never had one. I was in
Never had
Liverpool there before Christmas and I got one of them Spud Bros things.
Oh, yeah, they're in Liverpool now.
Yeah,
Outrageously.
so where Five Guys was, wasn't it? Or beside it?
Absolute delicious.
Five Guys up on the terrace, up the top.
No, down near the bus station. It's not even the bus station. The back of St John's Shopping Centre, isn't it?
Oh, it's
That's
up that
where
way.
Five
Okay.
Guys is.
Right,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. Crossing the Shankly.
Yeah, okay.
Absolute.
Was it good?
Unbelievable.
Was
And
it?
I'm not a big baked potato.
So tell me
fan,
now,
but
they just get a potato, cut it in half, and then lash a load of beans in
a
it.
big, like 1.5
Butter.
potatoes, right? And they lash butter on it and the fillings. Now
What did
you
you
can
get,
get
Keith?
different. I didn't get one. We were in. There was a load of
Oh,
us
you
over
robbed someone
there.
else, which is
Well,
always
yeah.
nicer when you try someone
Yeah.
else's.
My missus got one, and she came in, and I think it was like chili beef or something like that. But it was like they lash loads of butter, garlic butter or something on it. You do have crispy onions and tram sauce, I think it's called, like a bladen taco type of sauce on it. Yeah, unbelievable, absolute quality.
I'm not a big fan of the baked potato. Daniel he's trying to redeem himself here, and he's doing himself well, right? Because he annoyed me earlier, but we're still friends. But he does redeem himself because he says you can't beat a homemade bacon cheese chips. Now, I'm with him on that if you're adding garlic to it, right? If you
CBG fries from
no,
Abracadabra.
if you make a good garlic sauce, right, and you actually do bacon, properly do bacon, and then cut it all up with homemade chips and cheese, and it's fucking fantastic. David Campbell says, thanks lads, starving now. I'm fucking delighted for you, Dave. That's what you get for being a fucking wanker throughout the show. But nice to hear from you again. Me and Dave have this thing. I don't even know who he is, but we have this thing. But fair play to you. But I'm delighted now. Go fuck off, I've got some in the fridge. Yeah, so potatoes, hey, come on, you have to pick one.
I go with
Roast.
if you put a gun to my head and said you can only have one type for the remainder of your life, it would possibly be a toss up between roasties and chips. But I'd go with roasties. My
Like
dad's
that.
roasties in
Of
particular.
course,
And
the
the
gun being
remainder of your life would
the
be
gun
those-
being put to Emmett's head was the black and tans putting it to his head. So he's gone with chips or a roasty. Keith, what do you go with?
I'm going with roasties as well, and the rest of your life won't be long because if you're eating roast potatoes every day, you'll probably have a good 6 months left in you before you.
Yeah.
Don't people? The
Your
only thing I'd
blood
say,
type would be goose fat.
this is what I was going to say. The only thing I think the roast potato tells the best story, right? Because everyone has a story about roast potatoes. Don't they? Yes, what I do is I cut the potatoes, right, and then I parboil them. People love saying parboil as well,
Fluff them up.
right? And I parboil them, and then what I do is I get, I have a big chicken in the fucking oven, and what I do is all the juices off that I marinate them in that then for 20 minutes, and then I watch them as they're cooking, and I keep topping up the stuff, and it's a fucking potato. Just stick it in the fucking oven. Will you leave it on a bit too long and it'll crust up? Do you know what I mean? I think roast potato has got the best story, but I think the actual answer is homemade chips. I think it is. So homemade chips, right? If you peel your potatoes, and you chop them, chip them properly, right, and then put all the chips in like a bowl of oil, right, like not a bowl of oil, some oil in a bowl, not a fucking like full to the top, right, and then what to do is, right, When you take them out, lay them on the counter on something, and put loads of salt and pepper onto the chips, and straight into the air fryer. But only a small amount of them in the air fryer, and put your air fryer up to max crisp, right? For about you actually get the chips, cut them, clean them into the pot. You do boil them for a bit, take them out, dry them off, oil, salt, pepper into the air fryer. Only a small amount of them, and put your air fryer into max crisp for about 8 minutes. They are fucking outrageous. But the best of all time, a deep fat fryer. But all the oil, fuck them in there and leave them there for about 20 minutes, and they come out amazing.
The air fryer has knocked the humble chip from the top spot for me, because while the chips are lovely in the air fryer, an old chip pan full of oil,
It's the best.
Dicing with that every time you put the thing on, and the homemade chips were better than that. But
I know a fella that used to do pudding and everything in them. Rashers, everything. Fucking everything.
Why
You
not?
know what I mean? I'd say he'd done the Christmas dinner and turkey and all into it. Didn't give a bollocks this thing.
You see the Yanks doing deep fat
Deep
fryer
fat.
and the
Well, Veranda says
turkeys at
deep fat
Christmas.
fryer. Deep fat fryer. Homemade chips. Our old school house fire starter chip pan.
House fire chip.
The house fire starter chip pan is by the one with where you get the little
Pot full of oil with a basket going into
the
it.
basket with the handle on
That
it.
tells a story, because they originally come into you in silver or stainless steel. By 6 or 7
Brown.
uses, they're black and brown.
Yeah. I remember years and years ago, my wife, girlfriend at the time, wife now, but her mother and father were going away. This is 25 years ago. And the mother and father were going away, and they went away, and it was my wife there and our brother. And he said to me, now he was about 13 at the time, and he said, Wendy says you make deadly homemade chips, will you make them for me? I said, yeah. And he goes, because we're not allowed to make them in the house, because my dad fucking hates the chip pan, I said, yeah, I'll come up after work and I'll make the chips. So I went up and I goes, where's the chip pan? He said, I can't find it. I think my dad's had to hide it before he went on holiday, right? So we searched the whole fucking house, couldn't find it. And we found it in the very back of the shed out in the back garden. He'd went and nearly buried this fucking thing. Found that anyway, got the oil. 2 weeks, homemade chips every fucking day. The owner was delighted with himself. So, but it's definitely the one where it's in the fucking mesh and in there, and the house can go for you. You don't know what's going to happen with them chips. You get that hot oil.
Have a wet tea towel at hand, yeah.
Yeah. I thought you were going to say something else there, but right. Anyway, so anyway, I'm going with the chips. You're going with the roasties, and what are you going with, Keith?
Yeah, roasties.
Yeah, roasties. I thought he was going to be swung there by the old Spud Bros. But big fan of them,
It's worth getting in there. But you can be a big fan of them, but they still come in maybe second or third place here, because the and the humble chip must be in second as well, actually. So the Spud Bros are way down. I'm just saying I tried them, and it was a game changer.
Ashley's in huge danger here. She says, I like sweet potato mash with a little white miso paste, but I get excommunicated for that. First of all, I don't know what white miso paste is. Sweet potatoes are fantastic.
Not epoxy.
I love them.
They just don't crisp up. They stay fucking soggy.
They do if you put enough oil and salt and pepper on them.
I think I said this before.
Chip,
lemongrass, Thai infusion or Asian infusion. They do sweet potato tempura fries. So they're basically sweet potato fries, dipped in tempura batter and thrown into the fryer. They are elite, but you can't get them takeaway. They're too soggy again. You get home.
Okay. And Ashley's come back to say, you don't understand the context, Gav. Oh, there's context to it. Okay. I'm leaving it there. There's just two women talking about miso paste and context. Nah, I'll stay out of that place. Thanks very much. Right, that has been the Sunday Night Cop. Emma, anything else before we go?
No. Looking forward to tomorrow now. Especially if he said that he's going strong, so.
Yeah. Some crack if it was a 2-1 loss, wouldn't it?
4 injuries to key players.
4 injuries, yeah. 4 injuries, 2-1 defeat, and no money left in the key for the rest of January. But anyway, Ashley says my favourite is a potato skin with bacon, cheese, sour cream, and chives. She's redeemed herself.
Has she really?
I think so. Once you say bacon and cheese on it, I think you're grand. We can the sour cream I'm okay with. And the chives, yeah, no problem.
If you have control over the bacon, you're all right. I got them. We were away one time, and my missus loves
Control
bacon
over
and
the
cheese.
bacon.
Well, if you're cooking it,
Okay.
we got them away one time, and the bacon and cheese fries my missus ordered and came out. They must have cooked the bacon on the radiator. The thing was pink. It was fucking horrific. She looked at it.
Just held it beside that light that kills the flies in the kitchen.
She looked at the thing, didn't even try it. Yeah, get that away from me.
Tommy says, I want homemade chips now. Oh, do you know what? It's not beyond the realms of possibility that at 25 to 12 on a Sunday night, I may go in and have a little gander in the kitchen now for some chips.
Where's that chip pan? Where's the chip pan?
Why is there a
Get it out
mad
of the
smell of
shed.
fucking grease all over the gaff? Shut up and go to bed. So there you go. Dylan says they cook the bacon in the heat of the moment. Yeah, it sounds like it. But I know what you're saying. If you're in control of the bacon, and some of the places, they just don't give you enough bacon. You need it chopped finely and loads of it. Anything else before we go? All good. We're all done.
All good.
Okay. Good stuff. Good stuff. And Steve Murphy says dipper chips, Gav. Yeah, Steve Murphy put me onto these ones from Dunn's. They're our own brand. They're called dipper chips. They're in a black bag, and you can do them in the air fryer, and they're quality. And they're actually shaped that you can, dip. Like there's like
they're hollowed out.
They're like hollowed out chips. Yeah,
there's a lot of places doing them now.
Yeah, they're whopper. Yeah. Homemade spuds with Kerrygold. Used to harvest them myself. Nothing nice, says Madge. Of course, Madge has gone away from the harvest and that. She just drinks a lot now and tells everyone she hates them. That's how she usually works now. In fairness to her, and she's doing it really, really well. She's like, she might be in.
Stick at it, Madge. Stick
at it. I think it might be the future. Anyway, that has been the Talkin Kop. That's been the Sunday Night Kop. Thanks a million for watching. Like, subscribe, comment. Subscribe to our Patreon if you want. The link is in the description. There's loads of shows coming this week on Patreon and on YouTube. And we'll talk to you very soon. Over and out.